I am so excited to be sharing my own Volvet and semolina perfect bread recipe with you all today. It comes out perfectly soft and bakes up deliciously golden brown every single time I bake it. This bread is so rewarding to make and tastes even better than store-bought. Enjoy this warm flavor of homemade bread grilled with a layer of butter or make a delicious quick fix sandwich of your choice. So without further ado, let's begin. Hi everyone, Jai Shri Krishna is Nirali here. Homemade breads are actually very easy to make and they're better than store-bought because they have less sugar and absolutely no preservatives or additives added. On that note, let's bake today with perfect texture, Volvet and semolina bread loaf, shall we? Yeast can be tricky at first, but once you learn how to proof yeast, you should be all set. To really get the yeast going, water should be warm enough and not too hot. To 1/4 cup of lukewarm water, add 1/2 teaspoon of sugar and 1 teaspoon of instant yeast. Alternatively, instead of sugar, you can use 1 tablespoon of jaggery as well. Works great, exactly the same. Give it a little stir, be patient and let the mixture stand for 5 to 10 minutes. This allows the yeast enough time to gobble up all the sugar and produce plenty of carbon dioxide. Once it's nice and bubbly, it's ready to incorporate in your flour. Start by taking 4 tablespoons of fresh yogurt to a bowl. And it's mandatory, yogurt must be fresh and not at all sour. You may either use homemade fresh yogurt or store-bought. To make this bread, we will need buttermilk. To prepare the buttermilk, take 4 tablespoons of fresh yogurt and add 1 cup of water. Stir it vigorously and buttermilk is ready. Keep it aside. Fresh batch of homemade yogurt plays a vital role in making this bread super soft, and yes, don't take a chance, simply follow the exact measurements. Semolina needs to be soaked for at least 30 minutes. To soak semolina in the stand mixture bowl, I will take 2 cups of semolina. I had large cores of semolina, so I grounded them using mixture into fine powder. If you find or have fine powder of semolina, chirotri rava, it's best. To it, add the prepared buttermilk and yeast mixture. Mix everything nicely and cover. It's important to soak semolina for at least 30 minutes. 30 minutes later, semolina will look something like this. Time to knead the dough. To 30 minutes soak semolina mixture, add 2 cups of whole wheat flour, 1 teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt and 1/8 teaspoon of baking soda. Attach the hook and start at speed 2. Now add water as needed. I needed 4 tablespoons of water. You may need more or less water or no water at all. It all depends on the consistency of your buttermilk. My best practice is I leave the dough to knead straight for 15 minutes, setting a Google or Alexa timer. Once everything combines well, add 1 tablespoon of butter and knead for 2 minutes more. Volvet flour bread needs more kneading time compared to all-purpose flour. Dough will leave the edge of the ball and should be tacky and smooth. So, as displayed, dough has kneaded well and it is ready for the first rise, for which take a small glass bowl and brush with some oil. Tuck the dough inwards and place it into the bowl. Now, since I am using today my IP, I will be placing this bowl in the IP and leave to ferment for the first rise at yogurt mode, knob to ceiling for 1 to 1.5 hours. Based on the weather conditions, time it takes for the rise of the dough may definitely vary. You can place to ferment alternatively in a pressure cooker or oven, and both needs to be turned off. 1 to 1.5 hours later, as you can see, dough has doubled up. As I always say, when I see large air pockets, I feel breeze of success. Large air pockets is what you should aim for, and if no air pockets, certainly means dough wasn't kneaded well or yeast was left sleepy. It's simply a super boo-boo and the outcome of your bread will be hard and dense for sure. Well, time to shape the dough to a bread loaf. Dust some flour on your non-stick mat and place the dough. Roll it first into rectangular slab and turn at every point tight and pinch the edges tightly. One quick tip while I deal with whole wheat breads is, as shown, I roll and seal it twice. Finishing the shaping by rolling and sealing it twice gives nice uniform bread shaping. Better shaping is said to produce a more consistent rise and spring during baking. That also will produce a difference in the texture and flavor for sure. This bread loaf pan is just wow. Measurements and link I will provide in the description box below. A tip here is if you really want the golden crust on top, then don't forget to apply oil on the top while you place it in the oven before second rise. One more quick tip for people who find second rise takes time, just tightly seal with the cling wrap the pan and place it in the oven and leave for second rise not more than 40 to 45 minutes. Oven is off right now. If you allow the second rise more than 45 minutes while baking, bread rises and then collapse. Why? It happens due to either overproofing or excess liquid or excess yeast. Well, here my bread, as you can see, has risen very well, and still it will rise even more during preheating and steaming step. For creating steam in the oven, to a stainless steel pan, add ice cubes and water. Preheating and steaming I always prefer to do together. In the oven, place the ice cubes, water and the bread loaf pan and start preheating at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 14 minutes. If you observe, the dough has risen a lot during preheating and steaming. 14 minutes later, take away the ice cubes water pan because we need it only during the initial preheating. And now bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit until nice golden crust is achieved. Mine took nearly 45 minutes and baking time varies with the oven. Just keep an eye till the crust is golden and well done. Mine seems to be done and took around 40 minutes. Right away apply some butter. Unlike cakes, bread needs to be detached off the pan straight away. Run a knife towards the edge and flip. Bread has came out really spongy and perfect. Lovely bake, isn't it? Well, most important is to allow the bread to cool down completely on a cooling rack. 2 hours later, bread has cooled down completely and look at the texture. The texture of the bread is so spongy, soft and just perfect. It's time to slice the bread. Slice it up thick or thin to your preference. For storing, it stays good for 2 to 3 days when sliced and stored in a dry Ziploc bag. Use it as simple grilled bread butter or make delicious simple quick sandwiches of your choice. I kept it simple with quick fix tomato cheese sandwiches for kids this time. Honestly, I am pretty confident for my Volvet and semolina bread recipe. If tried as shown, will be a sure shot hit and you will be baking it again and again using the same method. I bake this bread at least once a week because it's very delicious. Once you bake it, you will realize. On that note, don't forget to check out Cheese and Herbs flavored baguette series and the Ragi and Oats whole wheat bread recipe. Links I will provide in the description box below. And that was all to share from my end. See you all real soon with more amazing recipes. Till then, God bless and stay connected. Bye.